I'm generally a pretty happy person. I'm very blessed, and I don't really have anything in my life that regularly should make me feel really sad or down or anything. And generally, I think I'm pretty happy. But for the last few years, I've kind of noticed that just below the surface, that I'll have some really deep sort of sadness or grief, and it's probably been going on for 4 or 5 years. And in the quiet times of life, when things are really still, it'll kind of hit me, and sometimes I'll just have this wave of sort of sadness kind of like roll over my body. I can like feel it all the way through. I don't know if you ever had that happen, but it's a really unique feeling to have that. And I've spent a lot of time over the last several years sort of praying and trying to figure out and analyze, like, what is this? What is making me feel this sadness? And first I thought maybe I've got like some low level depression, but I don't have anything to really be sad about right here in my own little family community stuff. But after a while I realized, and what I think it is that I have this sadness and grief over our hurting world, and that this world isn't what it was intended to be originally by God, and that there's so much sin and brokenness. And I have so many friends who struggle just in their life, whether it be their marriages or their mental health or physical health or job situations, that there's just a lot of brokenness and family brokenness and individual brokenness out there that I think I feel, and I mourn and grieve that. I'm a very feeling person. On the Myers-Briggs test, I score way to the side of the feeling versus the thinking. And so I feel a lot of things deeply myself, but I also feel others' pain pretty acutely, and what they're going through. And so I think that's it. I think for me, it is just this sense of just really feeling sadness and grief over the state of our world and the state of the brokenness and sinfulness in this world. And so, what do I do with that? Well, as one of my friends says, sometimes I go Bibling. I guess that's a word. I don't know. Maybe they made that word up. But I love to go and read through the Psalms. My namesake David, King David, he wrote a lot of the Psalms, and you just see him pouring out his grief and despair to God about the world. And so, I was looking at Psalm 6, and I'm just going to read a little bit of it to you. He says, return, O Lord, rescue my soul. Save me because of your loving kindness. For there is no mention of you in death. In Sheol, who will give you your thanks? I am weary with sighing. Every night I make my bed swim. I dissolve my couch with my tears. My eye has wasted away with grief. It has become old because of all of my adversaries. Depart from me, all you who do iniquity. For the Lord has heard my voice of my weeping. The Lord has heard my supplication. The Lord receives my prayer. And so I just love that he's talking about all this sorrow and the gloom he feels because of the world, right? He's sighing, he's crying, he's got grief, and because of the world around him. And yet he knows that God will take care of him. He knows that in the end, God will be victorious. May not rescue him right out of this, but he knows that he can trust in God in that. And so, if you're like me, if you struggle with sadness and grief, either for yourself or just for the world and whatnot, just encourage you to go Bibling, to go back to the Psalms and read David's prayers when he just yearns for God and gets on his knees and cries out to God. It doesn't make everything better on here, but it restores for me the peace I have of knowing that God loves me, that he's for me, that he saved me, and that one day he's going to make all things new. He's going to take all the sad things and they're going to come untrue. Just what an idea that is, right? That all the pain, all the loss, all the suffering, all the evil, all of that will become untrue, and we'll be whole again. Be encouraged by that, friends, and live with grace.